Hello once again, Leo. Dadhichi here from astrology.com.au. Great to have your company again, and I'd like to talk about work this month, but as well as that, where you can expand yourself and where you can find happiness. You know, removing those obstacles to your self-satisfaction and success in career requires quite a bit of self-awareness. And this month, that awareness is not simply to do with, what it is you want to do in work, how much money you want to earn, because yes, Venus, Sun, your ruler, Mercury, in the 10th house, in a lovely triangular relationship with Jupiter and your karmic point in the finance sector, certainly indicate opportunities. But are you moving in the right direction is the question. And the new moon on the 7th is very powerful. It takes place in the, the apex of your horoscope, indicating new opportunities there. But if you make the mistake of judging something to be good simply by what you're going to get from it financially, then you may be stepping in the wrong direction. So this month, it is all about awareness, but not just awareness of the direction you want to step in. I think it's more about awareness of yourself, who you are, what your strengths and your weaknesses are. It's important to look at the weaknesses as well. I'm not saying you should allow that to overshadow the good that you experience in yourself. But, as Clint Eastwood said, a man's got to know his limitations. So knowing that gives you the opportunity to best direct yourself in the areas that are going to be most fruitful. There's a whole lot of artistic opportunity because of Venus, and Venus is the ruler of your career, moving now into that zone of career. We see that new moon will fully manifest in the 5th house. I'm looking at that now, the 5th house of your horoscope, which is what I mentioned last month and the month before, is where Mars and Saturn are transiting now, which may have sort of blocked off your creative power. And that's unusual for you, Leo, because you generally have great ideas, you're effervescent, full of dynamic energy. And having Mars and Saturn in that position have dampened the spirits of many born under the sign of the lion. So the full moon on the 22nd, and by the way, that coincides with the forward movement of Mercury, the communications planet, and your finance and profit planet, a very powerful finance and profit planet. So that movement, it's interesting because we talked about money, we talked about the love of what you do. There's a very interesting connection between these two planets, your finance or material planets, and the creative side of your being, shown by this full moon in the 5th house on the 22nd. So it's fairly significant that these two concepts are tied in. What does that mean? You probably heard, what's he talking about? Well, the creative impulse really should be, you've got to swap the priority of the financial with the creative. So put the creative up as number one. From that, the finances will flow once you're committed, once you're in full trust mode of the inner side of your nature. Now, for those of you that haven't experienced that yet, then that really is the number one task or work. I don't mean it to be tedious work, but by work I mean the task that you have to get through. You have to establish who it is you are, what it is you want to do, how creatively you can do that, and then the money starts to flow. Now, I've got my list here of transits, and I will look at just a couple there because I don't want to bog you down in numbers and dates, but we see some excellent aspects there from, if we're talking about career, on the 11th, the trine to Jupiter in your finance sector, opportunities there definitely for you now, although Jupiter is retrograde, so it's giving a bit of a funny situation there. That is your creative planet, and that could be why you probably want to be more creative now, but Mars and Saturn are holding you back. You just have to be a little bit patient. And Venus does make an important transit on the 24th to the 11th house of profit. So even if you can't quite find exactly what your life mission is, there should be some forward motion there financially. Now, the 11th house, interestingly, is also not only to do with your finances, but it's got to do with your social life, love affairs and relationships. So that should also start to see a big pickup around the last week of the month. The position of the Sun we see moving also into that 11th house on the 21st. So again, a couple of transits that are going to lift the whole financial prospectus for you. And this is more the case if you're independently involved in business, because the 11th house has to do with profits from your business ventures, whereas the second house has to do with your personal exertion. So those of you born under Leo who are running businesses should start to see increased sales, a better relationship with the public, and a more creative upswing at that time of the month. Join me at astrology.com.au. There's more there on you. And until you see me here next month, take the time to look at your daily, your monthly, your yearly horoscope. And for those of you wanting a more personalised service, I'm here along with a whole lot of other astrologers and psychics who are going to help you make heads or tails of where you're at this point in your life. Bye for now.